This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today we're going to talk a little bit about this idea of progression, projection. So one of the things that we need to pay attention to with this idea of progression, projection, let's have a look at what it actually means to begin with, is somebody has this goal, personal goal, that progression and results are very important, which of course a lot of people listening to this podcast would probably agree with. And based on that progression and results, they have this idea of what progression and results looks like. And what ends up happening is that because they actually value that and they measure progress, let's say someone might measure it in weight lost, right? Total weight lost. Another person could measure progression in money. So these are all objective things. Somebody else might measure progression in happiness, right? Which is whatever they deem happiness to be. And maybe they're measuring that happiness based on the things that they think make them happy, right? And this is the interesting thing, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but things don't make us happy. It's very, very upsetting maybe to hear this, but it's not upsetting, is it? That things can't make us happy. Things are just things. Happiness is our response to the thing because of our meaning structures. So, understanding that is that when we have these meaning structures around progression and continually constant and never-ending improvement, I think it's called the CANI or something like that. I think it's old mate Tony Robbins. This idea here is that sometimes we'll get that progression, and what we end up doing is projecting it onto other people. We're like, well, everybody wants to develop. Like, no one wants to waste time. We might say these kind of, these terms that what we're not doing is actually putting ourselves in the shoes of somebody else. So maybe we're not really actually looking at what is progression for them. And sometimes people don't know what progression is because all they're doing is going, progression is this, right? And they're just grabbing some sort of term that they may have heard either through marketing or from friends, or maybe it's being given to them from their caretakers, their parents. And so what ends up happening is that we go, well, progression is, weight loss. And then I lose weight, I'm not happy. It's like, well, maybe happiness was my marker. And then, okay, what am I going to do? I don't know what makes me happy. So now I'm just lost. What's the fucking point of it all? Really quite interesting. But as your job as a coach, if you are a coach, or maybe if you're looking for a coach, making sure that you're finding a coach that allows this, or even the things that you're listening to, this podcast, the books you read, whatever it may be, that constant and never-ending improvement is important if it's important. What that means is that other people around you have their own measurement for development, but here's the other part of that. They also are working on their own timeline. They probably had a different timeline than you. And so if someone comes into the gym and they're not ready, sometimes they're just not fucking ready. Hey, and maybe they're never going to be ready with you, but maybe they needed that experience of maybe a little bit of positivity. They felt it was kind of welcoming, but they weren't quite ready. That later on in life, they decide to do that because they had that positive experience. Or maybe it was a negative experience and it was like, you know what, I don't think you can do this. And they went away and they're like, fuck that person, I'm going to go do it. Meanwhile, the person that said, I don't think you can do this, is like, that person just wasn't ready. It's like, no, but there's this unfolding for every single one of us is unfolding at our own unique timeline. And the beauty of that is that when we can truly understand that, accept that, and appreciate it, we stop projecting what people should be doing. Because what we're really saying is what we think we should be doing. You should do this. It's like, I'm doing it, so you should do it. It's like, well, a bit of your own advice might be useful here, because if the shooting, right? The shooting and the masturbating, shooting on yourself, masturbating, and have-tos, like all of this sort of stuff is heavily often a projection from somebody, from their own inner experience, they're gifting it to somebody else, right? They're like, this is what you should do. It's like, says who? And why? Why should somebody do that? They said they want to lose weight. But do they? Do they want to go through the whole process is that their actual problem? Right? Or is there other stuff going on? What would be a big win for them? Right? Something that's super crucial and important for them. Because weight loss isn't it, hey. Earning more money isn't it. I need to earn more money. Why? Pay my bills off. So you want less bills? Yeah. Well, you don't need to earn more money to have less bills. But I need more money to pay off the bills that I have. It's like, yeah. But if you don't fix the fact of how you got those bills, guess what happens? You're going to get more big bills. You have to keep on earning more fucking money. And then the next thing you know, kids are off to college, right? White picket fence, you're just trying to keep up. It's like, this is not what you were put on this fucking earth for. Hey, it's not. Your progression is yours, and your timeline is yours. It's nobody else's. So when someone's trying to rush you, you're allowed to, if you give yourself permission, to work at your own timeline. And if you don't want to do something, you don't need motivation to do it. Because if you need motivation to do something, it's just not important to you. So stop bullshitting yourself and stop fucking trying to do it. Because you look at the real reason why you're trying to do it, it's probably for somebody else. Maybe that someone's dead. Maybe it's old parents or some shit. Hey, like people have that sort of stuff. It's just like you're able to park that. You can get apologies from your parents even after they're gone, or other people, because you can simply just go, you can go and forgive them, and it's not always for them. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the time it's for you. But what this does, it stops us taking on projections of progression, because it's not just the projection of progression, it's also some of us who take on the projection of somebody else projecting their progression, what they think we should be doing. And I have conversations, people go, this person said this. It's like, so? It's like, well, they said I need to be doing more of this, and it just pisses me off. It's like, oh, well, just don't do it. They're like, yeah, but then they'll say this. It's like, why is this person so important? Why is this person really crucial in your daily task of how you think? Oh, because there's your fucking problem, hey. Not what they said, but why that person's so important to you. That's where your problem lays. Because the person will just be whatever and do whatever the person does, because guess what? You fucking guessed it. They're working on their own timeline. They don't see what they're doing as an issue. That's why they're fucking doing it. And so getting them to stop doing something or start doing something is missing the problem. The problem lays within us because we're worried about or stressing about or concerned about why they're doing something or not doing something. It's got nothing to do with it. And when we can focus on our own path, then that's when we can actually support the people who want to actually develop. And we're not wasting time, we're not wasting money. Right? I know sometimes it's not a waste of time because once again, we're on our own development. And then sometimes we need to invest money to realize that we need to actually start investing money. Because the key thing there is that how much money you spend on yourself has a direct correlation to how much you think you're worth. And there's little asterisks there, but I think you get the point. So it's really crucial here to start looking at this going, okay, well, what levels of progression am I projecting onto people? Because that's a projection of my values. And therefore, I don't value them, I value my values in them. So you're no longer valuing them. You just value yourself in them. Hey, like, that's not two individuals living life. That's one individual trying to live life multiple times for other people. It's really fucking interesting. So there's that, the ability to recognize when we're projecting. And then there's the opposite. What other projections have I taken on? What projections have I taken on from other people that I'm trying to live up to, or that I'm measuring myself against, and maybe by an industry, maybe by a marketing team, maybe it was a book, maybe it was something else that I read or heard, or when I was younger, I remember hearing that some girl didn't want to go. This is not me personally, but maybe it was. Fuck, I don't know. But some girl didn't want to go out with me because they liked the stronger boys. So I went to the fucking gym, and now I've got this broken body, but I want to keep training, and I don't know why, and I'm single. It's like, well, I can probably fucking point at something for you that could give you some sort of indication. Like, this is just, that's not an isolated case. Hey, that person's still trying to measure progression based on a projection from when they were like 9. It's like, this shit's for real. It happens. And the more that we can go deep inside of our own self and ask the questions, wanting to know the answers, the further we can get with ourselves. Sorry about that plastic noise in the background. For those of you that don't know, I have to puppy sit my puppy most of the time. We have a one-bedroom flat, so he comes to the gym with me, and he was just chewing on his plastic. And it's gone. Now, I do apologise. I'm not editing that sound out. I do believe that'll... we're here. This is it. This is me. This is me live. This is how it works. But team, that is it. I'm out. Thank you very much. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, you know the drill. Jump on Facebook, search Mood Prep Online, join the conversation. I'd love to see you in there. Otherwise, team, I am out. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick, today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.